Hi guys, Rita here. I wanted to answer the question today, how much do students get for accommodation? And that goes hand in hand obviously with the question, how much do you charge for your student accommodation? Now, that is a very difficult question to answer. So I'm going to start off with, it depends between your NSFAS students versus private students. Okay, so your NSFAS students, that is it sounds simple, but it's actually not easy. And the simple answer is that you just need to know what the NSFAS bursaries will give this year for that university, and then you know what to charge. However, those amounts are not the same for each and every university. They differ depending on the type of institution. So TVET colleges are different from FET, from traditional big universities like UCT, Stellenbosch, those guys. They're all different. So you would need to go to the actual university site, and some universities will publish it and it'll be easy to find. Others, good luck. I've done housing for them for 3 years. I still don't know what they allow for accommodation. It's kind of a lucky packet, so we kind of guess where we are in terms of that. So generally NSFAS students get in your what I've seen, like your Northlink colleges, those kind of TVET colleges, they get about 2,500 rands as of 2021, not 22, but in 2021 they got 2,500. Now these things change also year on year. Might be more, it might be less, but that is what they received for accommodation. Okay, and then obviously that's what you can charge. Then your I had a 3,600, which was the UWC rate, and a 4,000, which was the CPUT rate. And then of course we had 3,400 in PE, and we have 33,000 in NWU in Potch. So you can literally see that it's different in all of these universities. So the best is to try and find out who's in charge of housing and see if you can get a hold of those people and ask them what is it that they allow for private accommodation. Okay, the other way that you can check is you can generally you can fairly easily find on the university website, you look for the university residences, and in there you can download a pricing guide for the university reses. Now what makes that nice is that you can see what the university charge for, and generally some will be cheaper than others, right? So I've seen some where for the same university, different reses, the one is like literally double the price of the other, but that'll give you a nice range of how much you can charge for your rent. Somewhere in between, you'll definitely be okay. Now coming back to private students, have a lot, their parents have a lot more to pay for their kids than your NSFAS students. So in NSFAS side, they provide everything. They provide books, food, all of that, travel, transport, accommodation. I think they even do a laptop allowance now. So there's a lot of things like that. On the private side, now you've got your high income families and your middle income families, right? Because the low guys are covered by the NSFAS bursaries, but the bulk of the students kind of fit into that middle level, and that is where you now probably are going to be able to charge a little bit less than with your NSFAS students, right? Which is, and you can help you, sorry, but you're gonna have to go and look. It's work, people. You're gonna have to look at your LSM in that area. Like if you go to West Coast College in Atlantis, your LSM is going to be lower. So those parents can probably only afford 1,000 to 1,500 rands if you're lucky for a room or a space for their kids to stay at. versus going to UCT, Stellenbosch, where those parents can, you know, they can just buy an apartment for their kids, or they can rent something luxury and private for 7,000 to 10,000 rands a month. So it's really about checking those type of LSMs that you're covering, and that will be in that specific university. So that then kind of that is generally per bed. On the NSFAS side, you can get different gradings for your property. So if they come out for your accreditation and you get a, I don't know what they call it, A, B, C grades, whatever, your A grades can charge full 33 for the year, versus your C grades can only charge 2,300, and that all just depends on what you have in your property for the students and how well is it set up, and so on. So that is quite important. That will also change what you can charge and so on, and how much they actually get for student accommodation. And then obviously, what can you charge? In some institutions you can charge deposits, admin fees, those sort of things. For private students, obviously you're definitely going to do that, right? You're definitely going to charge a full month's deposit and admin fee and so on. But for your NSFAS students, some places you're allowed to do that, but most places you are not. So you're not allowed to charge a deposit. So you definitely want to make sure that you keep an eye on your place, because the moment something goes wrong, somebody breaks a window and so on, you want them to pay and replace that ASAP, and not later, like you can deduct it from a deposit because you didn't collect the deposit. So very important type of things that you can or cannot charge for your student house. And then another place where you can also check how much to charge would be on websites where they're actually advertising for student accommodation properties, right? Where other landlords are listing their properties. And one such a website is called digsconnect.com. And you can go check there, what are the other landlords in the area charging for their rental. And then of course you don't want to be way out or way under. You want to be in the same ballpark as them, right? So that you can be competitive as well in terms of what you give. But then you need to also make sure that your quality that you're providing is the same as what their quality is of the things that they provide, what their houses look like, and all of that sort of thing. Now, how do you do that? How do you check it? Obviously on the photos, but photos sometimes don't paint a proper picture. So you need to go and check, do they include water and electricity? Do they include other things like, obviously they must have Wi-Fi, internet services, but what other things might they not include, you know, which you are including, so that you can also make your, when you try and sell these rooms to students, you want to make sure that those things stand out, that you provide that other people don't. And then of course, how do you check in the areas? You phone someone up and you either say that you're a student if you're young. If I can't pull that one off anymore, so I can say I have a child that I want to put in a property. I'm looking for a space for my sister, my brother's child, my child, whatever, right? And then you go and view these properties and you ask all the questions that you want to know, and that way you can be competitive in your property. So those are all the different ways, and that's what I think you can charge and how you can figure out your best price. So guys, hope you enjoyed it. If you found this video valuable and helpful, then definitely please like and subscribe so that YouTube can share it to everybody else to also learn something new. Bye.